Hi everyone, so this is my video about this foundation. I've tried it out a lot, so I've got some thoughts. This is the JCat Skinsurance Max Coverage Silky Foundation in the lightest shade Porcelain, which I will say right away, which you can probably tell, this shade is too pale for me. Things that are a good match for me are things like Clinique Beyond Perfecting CN 0.5 Shell, NARS Siberia is a good undertone match. It's a little bit darker, but totally workable. Makeup Revolution Conceal and Define and F0.2 is quite a good shade match because it has a good amount of yellow. So if I'm going to be wearing this, I have been adding like a yellow mixer to it lately and sometimes a blue mixer to try to get a little bit more of that olive undertone, the cool yellow undertone. So the mixers I've been using are the e.l.f. Mix to Match Adjuster. I don't know that they still make these, which is unfortunate. And this is the Temp 2 mixer. It's for their airbrush foundation, but it works. And there's other companies that have blue mixers now, like I think the LA Girl matte pro matte foundation I believe comes in blue now. So do they have a yellow? I'm not sure. Anyway, so I've been kind of playing around with these because this is just too pale. I do think that this gets a little bit darker as the day goes on, because I do find that when I darken it a little bit, add a little more yellow undertone to it, that it ends up looking a little bit darker when I felt like it was a good match at the beginning of the day. And so then it looks a little less stark when I don't darken it. By the end of the day, I feel like it matches a little bit better. So I do think it oxidizes a little, not a ton, and it's something that it's like throughout the whole day. I am going to show you the Skinsurance foundation powder in Porcelain and this in Porcelain because they are quite different. Okay. So there is the powder foundation, and this, oh dear, is a good color for me. I don't wear it that heavy, but it's a nice powder foundation for me. And the coverage is nice and the finish is nice. I'm pretty sure I have a Get Ready with me. So there's the powder, there is the liquid. You know, this is a good shade and a half, 2 shades paler. It is very pale. I also, something that's also very pale that I compared it to is this Double Wear in 0N1 Alabaster, which is one of my paler foundations. Actually, another one that is super duper pale, but, oh, there it is. Yes, I was just not seeing it. The Teint Idole Ultra from Lancome in 085. Ooh, this stuff is pale. Let's see how these compare. That's 085N. I like 095W because it's a nice yellow undertone. Again, a little bit darker. Oop, maybe this is lighter. This has less warmth, I think. And it might be lighter. It is so light. So light. But it also might darken a tiny bit as it gets exposed to the air. And another really pale one is the Glamoflauge from Hard Candy in 1500, which is, what's the name of that? Ivory. So when I wear this, I mix it with 1502, which is Light Porcelain, I think. I could probably wear this alone, but I prefer it with something darker. Yeah. So that's the Hard Candy in 1500, the Lancome Teint Idole Ultra in 85, and the JCat. And just for comparison for today, this is F0.2 from Makeup Revolution Conceal and Define. This is a better shade match for me because it has more warmth. So there is the F02. So it's just a little more yellow. It's still quite light, but has more of a yellow undertone to it, which just works better for me. It helps kind of cancel out the redness. My neck, you know, my body is more yellow toned, so cool yellow toned, if we want to be specific. And yeah, so that powder foundation just kind of blends in with the skin on my hand, and all these other things are brighter. But this one is, of all those things, this one is the best shade match for me. And the other ones tend to look quite milky, white, stark. They enhance kind of the redness of my face because it ends up looking light pink. It's just, they're not good color fits for me. So these are all things except for the Makeup Revolution that I would mix with. All right, so the formula. I wore this a bunch and was feeling pretty so-so about the formula and not really enthusiastic about it. But then I tried it with a different type of SPF underneath, and all of a sudden it was wearing beautifully for 10 hours. So my chin is where things tend to get patchy and weird looking. Things will look really dry, polka dotted. So just kind of on a whim, I used this deluxe sample that came in the Sephora Sun Safety Kit thing. It's the Supergoop Unseen Sunscreen. So it's one of those kind of silicone-based sunscreens, and I did show putting it on my face and like what it looked like. It's similar to this Paula's Choice Smoothing Primer Serum, also that kind of like clear silicone-y base. It might be because this one is a little bit older, but I did feel like this looked a little bit heavier with that foundation compared to this one, and this one just looks very nice. And this looked fine at the end of the day. Like, it looked good at the end of the day, but it looked a little heavy earlier in the day before those natural oils started coming through. Where this one, all I have underneath is just an glycolic acid toner, so I don't have any sort of like extra moisturizer. I have combination skin. It's kind of all over the place right now. It's a little bit, it's, you know, moderately oily, maybe in the T-zone, tends to be dry on my cheeks, though I have been really like good about moisturizing, so I feel like my cheeks are in pretty good state compared to where they usually are. They're a little bit less dry than usual, but this SPF plus pretty much nothing underneath it, really a nice fit for this foundation. So if you have like a silicone based primer, maybe I would try that, you know, or if you have something like this, a silicone based SPF. In general, most of my foundations don't wear well over this. So once I found a skincare product that it liked, then it worked a lot better. The price on this is nice. You know, it's JCat. You can get it at Ulta. It's not a prestige brand, so you can use coupons on it, etc. That's always nice. And if you're really pale, have a cooler undertone, I do think that this might be a good fit for you if you're lighter than I am and have more of a cool to neutral undertone. I do feel like it warms up a tiny bit as it dries, and then throughout the day it gets a tiny bit warmer. But I feel like it doesn't look quite as stark right now as it did when I first put it on. So yeah, as you can probably tell, I enjoy this foundation. I definitely would recommend checking it out. I am curious what the next shade down is like, but I don't think I'll be buying another shade of this. This is kind of a disaster.
This is a good soap.
This is a good snow pro.
Comments.
Just a second, Jack. If you have any questions or comments, please let me know below. Hopefully that I covered everything. This just was not a good day to be doing this. I hope you have a good one. I'll see you soon.